Hey, what's up guys, this is Liam or Weagle on your Overwatch, back with a new video. Today, I want to talk about Overextended. It's useless, but also how it can be the downfall of your team. It's on a knife's edge from being a great play or a terrible one, and there's so many different angles to approach this from. I will actually break down some gameplay and show you it, but one example I want to use of where Overextended can be good is if you picture the first point on Eichenwald. Say you take it, there's actually a gap of time between where the point has to move down to the next choke to push it through streets phase. If you was to overextend from that point to actually confirm a kill on someone but die, there's not an issue there because it's not possible for you to actually push the payload as it's still in transition to the next choke point. There, it can be very, very good. However, there's some points where if you try to chase down a kill and lose, you put yourself at a massive disadvantage, and that's what overextending is. It is potentially very good to chase down a frag, but on that knife's edge, if you don't confirm it, then you'll actually be putting your team at a disadvantage. So I'm actually going to show you proper examples of this, and one thing I want to say before we talk about the overextending is we actually win the point here, and rather than just staying on the point, it's a massive misconception you just keep the point. Always better to take space on King of the Hill. That way you've got space to fall back on if you need to. If you're on the point, you start getting overwhelmed with ultimates, you actually can't move and you've completely lost the fight. Taking extra ground is always good here. But what actually happens in a second is what people would consider overextending. We're in this massive mess of a team fight, and what we decide to do is actually push into the enemy team spawn. Our Reinhardt takes the initiative. I'm actually playing Lucio at the time, and I speed boost us in, and we're confirming frags more and more. Now, this is where it becomes more of a thing in solo queue to overextend, because as you'll see, the enemies are actually coming out at us one by one. Every time we confirm a frag here and they keep doing it, it's like another 10 seconds we get free on the point. So our time is ticking up and up and up. And as we see that they're regrouping and we lose a man, we actually back off to the choke point. Now, there's another thing to say here as well is why give them this choke point? Why let them just come through it? Let them funnel into it. They've regrouped, we've lost a guy, we've regrouped, but we don't want to go back to point and give them all this free ground. This isn't payload. We don't have a spawn disadvantage. It's much easier for us to fight at this next choke, which we do again, and then once more we overextend into the enemy's backline. Now, bad overextending is a big issue, particularly in solo queue, and the worst thing about it really is that to not lose out when someone on your team is overextending is actually to make that bad play with them. Now, this is something I've mentioned in a video before, and it definitely holds true to all aspects of Overwatch. If you're in solo queue and someone on your team is making a horrible play, you're still better off going with him as a team than leaving them to die and then being down in a team fight. Nearly always, even if their play is bad and you have a much better one in mind, there's no point, because you can't win a team fight like that unless the enemy are also making equal amounts of mistakes. But as you guys will have seen in this gameplay, throughout this whole round, we've been overextending into the enemy, making them trickle and backing up when we need to. The enemy then make the mistake of trying to be smart and sneaking behind us, and one of them going to the point, again leaving us a man up. We start to kind of lose the fight, but we're about even. We back up to the objective where one person in the enemy team gets rolled by 4 of us, and we win out the game from there. So overextending has always been this thing that's seen as bad, but actually in Overwatch, overextending can mean pressing an advantage, and distinguishing between the two is actually the thing that's more difficult. So another lesson to learn about this, and one thing that enables overextending to be successful where it shouldn't, is people not properly regrouping. Now this again is more of a solo queue issue, and I know a lot of you guys play solo queue or duo queue, which is a very similar scenario, so that's why we try to aim some of our guys towards that and some towards 6-stack, because overextending in 6-stack is good to confirm a kill on someone that hasn't properly regrouped or run away from a fight yet, but in solo queue it's just something that you can do in nearly every game. So in this next round you'll see that the enemy team are still poking at us even though they're not in a full team. This happens a lot in solo queue and definitely leaves them open to allow us to overextend into them. Now, you'll see they initiate with too few people, and we just jump on them. I think I stick someone with a tracer bomb. I think I kill the Reinhardt, and then we make some more kills. Rather than the enemy backing up here, which they should have done ages ago, it then gives me and FREEDO the potential to just be able to walk in and get free, easy kills. And that isn't a mistake of ours, that's a mistake of theirs. So technically what overextending is a bad thing, right? So you could just take this as, again, pressing the advantage. Now, what would have made this play overextending, actually, is if the enemy team were grouped and we were chasing into more people on their side than what we are currently pushing in with. But that isn't what happened, and that is that, again, from the start of the video, the fine line difference between the two. Being able to push that advantage is huge, and being able to play with a teammate that's overextended is even better, because if you don't play with them and you let them play on their own and they die, you lose the fight anyway. It sucks that sometimes you have to play with that person, and in this game, from the Anna's point of view, she's kind of having to play with me as the tracer because I'm the one that is overcommitting and is chasing down frags towards their spawn, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, and that fine line is the issue when it comes to playing with people. I know on live stream, a lot of times people have said to me, "You're overextended, Weagle, why are you pushing up so far?" But if I'm confirming kills and not dying and trickling their spawn, that's where it's good. And that is why overextending can be very, very useful, particularly in solo queue. The only examples of it in like an organized team are if an enemy hasn't backed off early enough, because if you're in a full team, you have to be regrouping near your spawn where you're safe, because if you're poking way too early before your team are regrouped, you're just asking to be trickled. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have you had a trouble with overextending? Have you overextended yourself and made it successful? Or usually is it someone on your team that's going on a mad flank when they shouldn't, and you don't know whether to make that decision to commit with them or not? You're always better off playing wrong in a team than playing right split up. That's just the truth of it, and it sucks. And hopefully as Overwatch progresses, more people will learn what overextending and regrouping really mean, and eventually we'll all learn as a community how to regroup and play better in that scenario. Let us know what you think. Be sure to follow our Twitter, that's where we tweet out our videos, our streams, some funny stuff and highlights, and also some updates about the game and what we are currently working on. You can check out our Discord to group up with teammates and overextend with all the friends that you like. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.